I'm here with Darrell Jordan-Smith from Red Hat to talk about some of the key and hot developments in the telecom sector. So Darrell, great to see you. Thanks very much for joining us.
Great to be here.
Now, Red Hat recently closed out its Open 5G event for this year. Can you just share some of the highlights, the key takeaways from that event?
Well, first of all, it was a phenomenal event for us. We had over 3,000 live attendees. And those 3,000 attendees in that live event were there asking questions, chatting and interacting quite a lot around the topics that we were covering. The key things that we took away from it is that there's a real focus on creating a horizontal platform or technology to drive scale and size and all the benefits such as automation, security and other elements associated with that. The other thing is I've learned that edge and edge-based applications, MEC in particular, they're table stakes. It's how we actually enable a lot of the service providers themselves to generate new service revenue streams.
Okay, so what would you say is fundamental then to modern telecoms infrastructure? What is a must-have to enable this the next?
Well, we talk a lot about open platforms, open standards, and telecommunications companies do understand that. That's sort of built into a lot of their DNA because you wouldn't be able to make one phone call to connect to one network to another without it. But I think that's accelerating. I think the need to actually interoperate both applications, services and network infrastructure is increasing. The concept of communities and ecosystems is increasing. And obviously being an open source company ourselves, we see that innovation occurring as well.
Okay. Now, Red Hat talks a lot about making edge strategies a priority. Why is edge table stakes? And what is Red Hat doing to help the ecosystem to adopt that?
So we believe that edge itself is going to be a set of use cases that literally sit at the edge of the network itself. Those edge use cases will be very industry specific. So if you look at automotive, for example, we recently announced we're developing an in-car vehicle OS with General Motors. That's a new market, a new area, a new ecosystem. That's very specific to the automobile industry and all of the regulatory standards and health and safety aspects of that industry will pertain to. So what we're doing at Red Hat is we're connecting our industry enterprise expertise with the telecommunications company. So we're bringing automotive to the table, we're bringing robotics to the table, we're bringing AI-based applications in manufacturing to the table, we're bringing retail use cases to the table, and we're very focused obviously also on healthcare. So those specific industry verticals, we're bringing the ecosystem of the edge to the telecommunication service providers and working with them in order to deliver new services and new technologies to those new industries and therefore new revenue streams.
Okay, you mentioned AI there. What is the benefit of bringing artificial intelligence together and combining it with 5G for next-gen applications?
So there are two aspects of that. One is sort of internal to the telecommunications company from an infrastructure perspective, collecting the telemetry to do self-healing network infrastructure and automate the infrastructure to understand where that actually is in almost real time using AI. The other part of it is the spare capacity at the edge of the network in terms of AI. To run artificial intelligence-based applications and solutions enable us to reach into an enterprise. So for example, private 5G. You might be deploying a private 5G network across a very large campus, factory or oil field. Being able to collect all of that telemetry, do analysis on the compute at that edge, delivers benefit not just to the telecommunications company because they get to manage that traffic, but also the enterprise customer you're delivering the service to.
Now, we hear a lot of talk about the need for cloud platforms for next-gen telecom. For your customers, are you seeing a migration to the public cloud or are they relying more on the private cloud? How's that playing?
I think there are two aspects to this. Number one, the hyperscalers, as we call them, are partners to a lot of our telecommunications companies. They provide a lot of the edge-based infrastructure as well as the cloud-based infrastructure. They are also potentially competitors in that space in the future. So there's a pensive relationship. What will actually occur in that over the next few years is going to be interesting to see. So we see a cooperative engagement with the hybrid cloud providers. We're seeing some of the telecommunications companies moving IT, moving OSS, BSS into public cloud. Those are very IT-centric based applications and services, and that business model is proven, and we're working with all of those companies to facilitate that because we land our technology also in the cloud. But also, if you look at telecommunications infrastructure, looking at billing records, looking at security, cybersecurity, data sovereignty. A lot of the telecommunications companies don't want that data leaving their private cloud. So what I'm saying here is we're seeing a hybrid effect take place. That we're going to see things that are running in the telco cloud, in on-premise or in the telco network, and applications and services sitting in the public cloud, as well as different partnerships with defensive elements of those cooperative or competition-based engagements that we're seeing in the marketplace.
Okay, excellent. And how does corporate culture impact the way that you make decisions at Red Hat about what you do? And also, how is that impacting your customers and your broader partner ecosystem?
So a very good question in that a lot of our customers are asking us from a cultural perspective, how do we retain talent? So you can imagine in Kubernetes, a fast-moving upstream project, talent demands in the marketplace on that are very, very high. So, rather than losing key talent in your business, you need to be able to create ways of engaging them and keeping them on board. And a lot of those individuals, yes, they go to work to earn an income and support their families, but they also go to work to create a purpose. So in Red Hat, our purpose is all around open source and sharing code with wider communities and driving a better marketplace or world because of that. So typically our developers are at Red Hat, they're focused on making the world a better place. Now in the corporate space, obviously that's an admirable ambition for a lot of the corporates to follow, but a lot of those individuals also want to be in the leading edge of technology. They want to be able to make decisions. They want to collaborate more. So you've got to create a different cultural and diverse environment to be able to support that. So a lot of our customers are asking us, what are our best practices in retaining talent? How do we change our business processes in terms of agile development methodologies? And how do we, more importantly, then drive innovation? So we're continually disrupting ourselves so we can be the best we can be at any point in time.
Okay, fantastic. Well, Darrell, great to hear what you're seeing in the industry right now and what Red Hat is doing. So thanks very much for joining us today.
Thank you.